Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Level Up English podcast. I'm Grace.
And I'm Logan. Welcome. How is everyone doing today?
I'm feeling really energized today, Logan, especially because of our topic. I think it's something that can really help our listeners.
Absolutely, Grace. It's something we all work on no matter what our English level is or what we do in life. Today, we're talking about how to discipline your mind.
Yes, discipline your mind. It sounds a bit serious, maybe even difficult, but it's really about learning to control your thoughts and focus better.
Exactly. It's like training a muscle, but instead of your body, it's your brain, and it can make a huge difference in learning English and really everything else.
Definitely. We all know those days when your mind just jumps from one thing to another. You're trying to study English, but then you think about what to eat for lunch, then about a funny video you saw, then back to English, but wait, what were you learning?
Story of my life. It can be so frustrating, but mind discipline can help you get better at staying focused and in control of those thoughts.
And to help us understand all the important words and phrases we'll use today, we have our amazing vocabulary expert, Samantha, joining us.
Welcome, Samantha. We're so happy to have you with us.
Thanks, Grace and Logan. I'm excited to be here and help everyone level up their vocabulary as we talk about this important topic.
Wonderful. So let's start at the beginning. What does it even mean to discipline your mind? Logan, how would you explain it in a simple way?
Okay, in simple words, disciplining your mind means training your brain to do what you want it to do instead of letting it wander everywhere. It's like being the boss of your own thoughts.
That's a great way to put it. It's about gaining control. Think of it like if your mind is a puppy and it just wants to run around and play all the time. Mind discipline is like training the puppy to sit, stay, and focus when you need it to.
Haha. I love that puppy example. It's so true. Our minds are naturally active. They want to think about everything. But sometimes we need them to focus on just one thing, especially when we're learning.
So it's not about stopping thoughts completely. That's impossible. It's more about noticing when your mind wanders and then gently guiding it back to what you want to focus on.
Right. It's not about being perfect and never getting distracted. It's about getting better at managing distractions and choosing where you put your attention. It's a skill you build over time.
Okay, so we know what mind discipline is, but why is it actually important, especially for English learners?
It's super important. Think about studying English. You want to focus on grammar or vocabulary or listening practice, right? But if your mind is jumping around, it's so much harder.
Exactly. You might read a sentence in English, but then you start thinking about something else, and you don't even remember what you just read. Or you listen to a podcast, but your mind drifts off and you miss half of it.
Mind discipline helps you stay present when you study. It helps you concentrate on your lessons, remember new words, and really understand what you're learning. It makes your study time much more effective.
And it's not just for studying. Think about speaking English. If you're in a conversation and you're nervous, your mind might race. You might forget words. You might get confused.
Yes, but if you have some mind discipline, you can stay calmer, focus on what the other person is saying, and choose your words more carefully. It can make you a much better communicator in English.
Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends who are also learning English. It really helps us grow and bring you more great content. Also, we've put together a free PDF guide with the best tips from this episode to help you train your mind and stay focused while learning English. You can download it in the description below, so don't miss out. So, it helps with learning and using English. It sounds like a superpower.
It really is. And it's not just for English. Mind discipline can help you in every part of your life, at work, with your hobbies, in your relationships.
Okay, Samantha, we've used some important words already. Can you help us with some vocabulary from this part of our conversation?
Absolutely, Grace. Let's look at some keywords. So today's first word is discipline. As a verb, it means to train yourself to control your behavior or mind. As a noun, it's the ability to control yourself and make yourself do things. We're talking about mind discipline today. Next word, wander, to move around without a clear direction or purpose. We said minds can wander, meaning thoughts move from one thing to another without you controlling them. Next word, distraction, something that takes your attention away from what you are trying to focus on. Mind discipline helps you manage distractions. Next word, concentrate, to give your full attention to something. Mind discipline helps you concentrate when you study English. Effective, producing the result you want. Mind discipline makes your study time more effective, meaning you learn better in the same amount of time. So those are some useful words to understand when we talk about mind discipline.
Thanks, Samantha. That was really helpful.
Yes, thank you. So now we know what mind discipline is and why it's important. But how do we actually do it? What are some techniques?
Okay, there are lots of ways to train your mind. One really popular and powerful way is meditation.
Meditation? That sounds a bit advanced.
It might sound complicated, but it can be very simple. Meditation is basically just focusing your attention on one thing, like your breath or sounds around you for a short period of time.
So you just sit and focus on breathing?
Yeah, that's a very basic form of meditation. You sit quietly and you pay attention to your breath going in and out. And when your mind wanders, and it will, you just gently bring your attention back to your breath. It trains your mind to focus and to come back to a focus point when it gets distracted. Even just 5 or 10 minutes of meditation a day can make a difference.
Okay, meditation sounds interesting. What's another technique?
Another good one is mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment, paying attention to what's happening right now without judgment.
Being present in the moment. Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine you're eating lunch. If you're being mindful, you're really paying attention to the food, the taste, the smell, the texture of eating quickly. While thinking about other things, you're just focusing on the experience of eating.
And how does that discipline your mind?
Mindfulness trains you to be more aware of your thoughts and feelings as they are happening. You start to notice when your mind is drifting, and you can gently guide it back to the present moment. It helps you control where your attention is.
Meditation and mindfulness, they sound a bit similar.
They are related. Meditation is often a practice you do in a quiet place, setting aside time. Mindfulness is more of a way of being throughout your day, bringing that focused attention to whatever you're doing.
Okay, that makes sense. Are there other ways to discipline your mind besides these practices?
Yes, another important thing is focused work. This means setting aside specific times to work on one task without distractions.
Like when you're studying English?
Exactly. When you decide to study English for 30 minutes, try to really focus only on English for those 30 minutes. Turn off notifications on your phone, close extra tabs on your computer, find a quiet place.
That sounds challenging.
It is challenging at first, but it gets easier with practice. Start with short periods of focused work and gradually increase the time. It trains your mind to sustain attention for longer periods.
And what about stopping bad habits? Does that relate to mind discipline?
Absolutely. Breaking bad habits is a big part of mind discipline. Think about habits that distract you from learning English, like checking social media every few minutes or watching too much TV in English without really focusing.
Oh, yes. Those are definitely my habits sometimes.
Haha, me too. Mind discipline helps you become aware of these habits and then make conscious choices to change them. It's about choosing what you focus on. And sometimes that means choosing not to do something distracting.
So, techniques like meditation, mindfulness, focused work, and breaking bad habits, these are all ways to train our minds.
Exactly. And it's not about becoming a perfect mind disciplined master overnight. It's about starting small, practicing regularly, and being patient with yourself.
Okay, Samantha, lots of new words and phrases again. Can you help us with the vocabulary from these techniques?
Of course, Grace. Let's look at these. Next word, meditation. A practice where you train your mind to focus and relax. We talked about meditation as a way to discipline your mind. Next word, mindfulness. The practice of being present in the moment and paying attention to your current experience. We talked about practicing mindfulness during everyday activities. Next word, focused work. Time dedicated to working on one task without distractions. Logan suggested using focused work periods for studying English. Next word, sustain, verb to continue or maintain something for a period of time. Focused work helps you sustain attention for longer. Next word, conscious, aware of and responding to your surroundings, done with full awareness. Breaking bad habits involves making conscious choices to change. Next word, patient, adjective, able to accept delays or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. It's important to be patient with yourself when learning mind discipline. Those are some key terms for understanding the techniques of mind discipline.
Thanks, Samantha. So we've talked about techniques, but how can we actually use this in our daily lives, especially for learning English? Do you have any practical tips, Grace?
Yes, first, start small. Don't try to meditate for an hour on your first day. Start with 5 minutes of meditation or 10 minutes of focused study. Small steps are easier to keep doing regularly.
Great tip. Another thing is to find moments for mindfulness throughout your day. While you're drinking your morning coffee, really focus on the taste and the smell. When you're walking, pay attention to your steps and the feeling of your feet on the ground.
Yes, turn everyday activities into mindfulness practice. Another tip is to schedule focused study time in your day. Actually put it in your calendar, just like you would an appointment. This makes it more real and more likely to happen.
Definitely. And create a study environment that reduces distractions. Find a quiet place. Tell people you don't want to be disturbed. Put your phone away. Make it easier to focus.
And finally, be kind to yourself. Everyone gets distracted. It's normal. When you notice your mind wandering, don't get angry at yourself. Just gently guide your attention back. It's a practice, not perfection.
Perfectly said, Grace. Mind discipline is a journey, not a destination. It's about getting a little bit better each day. And even small improvements can make a big difference in your English learning and in your life.
Absolutely. So to sum up, disciplining your mind is about training your brain to focus. Techniques like meditation, mindfulness, focused work, and breaking bad habits can help. And remember to start small, be mindful in daily life, schedule focused study, create a good environment, and be patient with yourself.
Yes, and with a little bit of practice, you can really level up your mind discipline and level up your English learning too.
Wonderful. Samantha, one last time, can you give us the vocabulary recap For these practical tips,
Here are the last keywords. Schedule, to plan something for a specific time. Grace suggested to schedule focused study time. Next word, environment, a noun, the surroundings or conditions in which a person lives or operates. Create a good study environment to reduce distractions. Next word, disturbed, to interrupt or bother someone. Tell people you don't want to be disturbed during study time. Next word, perfection, the state of being without any faults or mistakes. Mind discipline is a practice, not about achieving perfection. Next word, destination, the place you are going to. Mind discipline is a journey, not a destination, meaning it's ongoing, not a final point. And that wraps up the vocabulary for today's episode. Thank you for having me, Grace and Logan.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Your vocabulary explanations are always so helpful.
yes, thank you, Samantha.
Remember to start small, practice regularly, and be patient with yourself. You've got this.
If you've ever wondered how to go from struggling with English to speaking like a pro in just 90 days, we've got you covered. In our next episode, we're revealing a complete roadmap to English fluency step by step. So if you're serious about leveling up your English, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it.
And please let us know in the comments. What do you do to discipline your mind? We'd love to hear your tips.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Level Up English podcast.